My dad was half
happened?
Chinese and half Hawaiian, and my mother is Swedish.
Wow. Like Queens?
Singapore, Colin's wedding.
I hardly know anything about them. Every time I bring them up, Nick changes the subject. Maybe his parents are poor and he has to send them money.
We'll take your bags and get you checked into first class.
Nick, we can't afford this.
Yeah, they're just the biggest developers in all of Singapore.
Mom, this is Rachel Chu.
She just thinks you're some, like, unrefined banana.
No. Those are a few fingers.
Yellow on the outside, or white on the inside.
I know this much. You will never be enough.
Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh, God.
Classic.
Did you see this film before, or did you see it when it released in theaters?
I didn't see it at the original release, but I've watched it twice already. I've also read all 3 books in the series. I could watch it over and over again, like never get tired of it.
Immediately I saw it. Because everybody's pushing me. Go see that film, go see that film. One is impression is like a slap back. Asians can be Asians and can produce their own film. The surfacing of that particular attitude that she fit with us, with our Asian rich standard. Trying to protect the ancient process of how are we going to grow our family and preserve our own culture, tradition, and our wealth. And you're very afraid with the influences of the West's.
It is part of a trilogy, and it's based off of the book Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. The movie focuses mainly on Rachel Chu, who is a professor of economics at New York University, and her boyfriend Nick Young, who happens to be part of the richest family in Singapore. So when she goes to the airport, when she starts picking up little things like first class and chauffeur, she's like, what's going on? As she starts picking these things up, that's when she obviously has to confront Nick's mom, who she's the rich auntie that, everyone's scared of. There's tension between Rachel and the mom in regards to Nick picking who enters into the family. There's themes of East meets West, an identity crisis. What does it mean to be Asian American? There's also tensions with social class and tensions with family.
One of the reasons why I watched it multiple times is the fact that oh my gosh, it's a star-studded Asian cast. The themes in the movie they resonate with me. Dare I say, controlling parents, specifically tiger moms, dragon ladies, because that resonates with me. And my mom raised me pretty strictly. Also, just trying to bridge the gap between I'm an Asian American. I were in that situation I'm dating someone who was born and raised in Asia. Clearly there's going to be some kind of conflict between me and my in-laws say, oh, you're not enough. Oh, this is how we do things around here. And, I've experienced that as well. First time I went to the Philippines, where very much a culture shock, people kind of criticizing you. I don't speak Tagalog the same way y'all do. I don't have the same mannerisms and things like that. I don't know what's really happening here because it's my first time in the Philippines.
Did you hear of any critiques or controversies that came out of the film when it was released?
I did not really follow up the critiques and controversies, but personally, I would say that the racism inside, the caste system kind of stuff, the Asian caste system surfaces.
I have a feeling that there was a controversy, but I can't quite remember what.
When the film first came out, on one side, this is one of the first major Hollywood films that has a story written by an Asian, adapted, directed, and filled with a mainly Asian cast. But a lot of people came and said that there's actually a lack of representation and that it seems to have favored mixed race individuals due to their appearance. We also see a lot more East Asian or fair Asians on the film. And that's very different to the demographic of Singapore, which actually has a lot of darker Asians like Malay or Indians. There seems to be a preference on the lighter skin and colorism.
When I think Asian, they automatically think East Asians, right? They don't think of Southeast Asians or South Asians, Central Asia. And I can see how in media, they'll always be drawn to that because they're they're easily recognizable. So then, casting, while yes, we had a huge Asian cast, it's maybe it's not as accurate as it could have been.
First and foremost, I just want to acknowledge that Chris Aquino is present. So there's one representation from the Philippines representing not the Philippines though, representing queen of something.
It can also be viewed as a roadblock for aspiring like Asian actors, specifically like South Asian, Southeast Asians. Like, oh, I could have been in this role, but they went with someone who's East Asian. They went with someone who's mixed. And so definitely the whole theme of colorism undermines the success of the movie, unfortunately.
I mean, the reality is, even among us Filipinos, the preferred color is the white Filipino. That's why we even have whitening soap. We have all these glutathione injections and everything. I'm happy there's an Asian film, but it doesn't really correct the colorism that has been there in Hollywood. And also it's a reflection of whitewash pathology.
When we highlight East Asians, there's the idea of the model minority. So even just the title Crazy Rich Asians, there's always something that connects Asians as the model minority, that you're an immigrant, even if you came here with nothing, as long as you work hard, you can definitely succeed. And that obviously isn't the case. Do you think that this film, Crazy Rich Asians, also continues to aid to the model minority myth?
Crazy Rich Asians. And who are those? I cannot align myself to that because I know I'm crazy. I know I'm Asian, but I don't know the definition of rich because I have to work hard. The money doesn't even stay with me. I have to send people to school back home. Even the model minority, who created those words?
It does perpetuate that model minority myth because like you said, it's like, okay, if you work hard, you can make it. I mean, I look at like the young families, and this also very much is another thing that resonates with me because that's kind of how I was conditioned growing up. It's like you just work hard, study really hard, you will be successful, you will make a lot of money. The model minority myth, the way I interpret it in this movie, it's not like super blatant unless like you already are familiar with that term and that concept.
A lot of people were criticizing those who criticized. Was Princess Diaries ever criticized for colonialism? Was Ocean 8 ever juxtaposed to glorifying organized crimes? Does Downton Abbey, have they ever been criticized for the way they live their life? And why are people not allowing Crazy Rich Asians to be a film that opens the door for more Asian-led projects, for more screen time for Asians? In regards to that, do you think that the critiques are justified?
I always look at it in the optimistic side, that this can be a ceiling breaker. Everybody enjoyed it as a romantic Cinderella kind of stuff. This can pave the way for more films by Asians and Asian actors, and use this to understand more what is really needed for assertion of Asian actors, Asian film, Asian empowerment.
I think we should allow it to be what it is. Like, yeah, it's a major breakthrough in this day and age to have like not just Asians, in the cast, but also behind the scenes. We're too deep in our bag about criticizing things. Let's just enjoy the film for what it is. For the sake of the art of film, we should enjoy it while, still having a critical lens.
Hollywood will be forced to embrace us as Asian in Asian films, Asian theme, Asian stories.
Things should always be kind of taken as it's a work in progress. Nothing's perfect.
Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
What's happening?
I've seen thousands of Evelyns. You can access all their memories, their emotions, even the skills. And you may be your only chance of stopping it.
Have you seen that film before?
Oh, I haven't seen that film, but my friend is one of the actors there.
So I've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've seen it twice, and both times I cried.
Classified, or it's labeled as an American absurdist comedy drama film, and it's written and directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. So it stars Michelle Yeoh as Evelyn Kwong Wang, who is a Chinese American immigrant who owns a laundromat with their husband Waymond. So in the beginning part of the trailer, we see that they're sitting at the IRS And then while they are there, there's an unexpected turn, which leads her to the different alternate universes. So these universes, through Evelyn's eye, we see her character development, we see how the different narratives and what ifs of Evelyn and Wayman are so that they can explore their different identities, if their decision to leave China and come to America, doing better or worse. And then also brings in the family relation, Evelyn and her daughter Joy, who is an Asian American. Often there's like the culture wars there. This film won 7 Oscars. And just to highlight a few, they won Best Picture at the 95th Academy Awards. Michelle Yeoh became the first Asian woman to win Best Actress. Ke Huy Quan won Best Supporting Actor, especially after their long hiatus from Indiana Jones. And then Jamie Lee Curtis won for Best Supporting Actress. Do you think that it's finally time for a movie directed by an Asian with a highly Asian cast to receive this many awards?
Absolutely, 100%. We definitely need more Asian American and Asian directors in Hollywood.
It's time. I'm very affirmed as an actor that we can make it. I think we just need more assertion. So it's not just an entertainment. It's not just a love story or a slapstick or a comedy. It's also the reality.
Jamie Lee Curtis had won Best Supporting Actress, whereas many felt that Stephanie Sue, who plays Joy Wang, daughter of Evelyn, and the antagonist, Jobu Tupaki, that she should have won because she had multiple characters she was playing, and not only was she more prominent in the film as a supporting actor, but Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays the IRS agent, the gay lover in the sausage hands finger scene.
100% I agree that Stephanie Shu should have gotten the award instead of Jamie Lee Curtis, because if we think about it, Jamie Lee Curtis is already a veteran in the film industry and the media. Stephanie Shu, like, she's definitely with this role in the film. How many roles she had to play?
She could have won the supporting actor. That controversy can go on, and then that can inspire her, push her to have more films in the future.
So I think it was a bit of a setback for us because, it's like, oh, we have all these awards for the movie, but this one award went to a white woman. If you want to inspire more people to go into this industry, we should really be prioritizing folks who haven't been in the limelight as much, right? Those who don't have as much experience.
And then just to quote Stephanie Sue, she had an interview with Good Morning America. She mentioned that she saw little Asian representation in Oscar nominations. So she believed that even earning a nomination herself was an unlikely scenario. And she says, and I quote, I think growing up, I just didn't see many people like me being nominated for Oscars at all. And sometimes I think dreams feel so far away that you can't even dream them. To finish off the series, do you believe that the representation of Asians have gotten better in Hollywood?
Yes. Well, it could have been earlier, but we are at this stage where we're no more silent.
I think representation has definitely gotten a lot better in Hollywood. We've seen such a paradigm shift in how people should be cast. I think we've also done a lot better with, who's behind the scenes, who's actually calling the shots, so having more Asian folks on set. The media has heard what the people want, what they say, and now they're actually shifting.
These awards can be the start of a long overdue acknowledgement.
We're slowly, but surely paving the way for more equitable and diverse opportunities in Hollywood for Asians to take the roles that they rightfully deserve, to also be in the production side, to help market, and also, of course, direct the whole thing. God, almost 100-year journey. So we really should give ourselves a lot of credit for it.